Hello again, Interblops. This week really got away from me, mostly due to exhaustion. It's been a very busy stretch in the day-to-day existence of your Un, and I've almost constantly been either doing shit or thoroughly wiped out from doing shit. As a result, we'll have a very short video this week covering a very short game, Jack in the Dark. JITD is a little teaser game made to promote Alone in the Dark 2, released a short while before Alone 2 itself. It stars Grace Saunders, who will be a major plot character and secondary playable character in Alone 2, and features a toy version of One-Eyed Jack, the primary antagonist of that game. As such, while Jack in the Dark is a very brief adventure, winnable in about 10 minutes if you really bull ahead, it provides a bit of flavor leading into the larger game and was likely intended to build a bit of hype. The stage thus set then, witches and warlocks, shall we go a-Halloweening? We will not see a terribly large number of familiar names in the credits of Jack in the Dark. Pretty short credits, being as it is a rather short game. But we do see that the screenplay is still the work of one Hubert Chardot, along with a few other people. You will see at the end there, special thanks to Santa Claus. Jack in the Dark takes place at Halloween, but Alone in the Dark 2 takes place at Christmas, and Christmas does figure a bit into this little teaser game here. Grace Saunders is lost in the big city. Behind the shop window, she sees a light flickering. It's been so long since someone has dared to open this door, but when you are 8 years old, and even the moon is out celebrating Halloween. This was re-released, as I mentioned, as part of the Alone in the Dark 1 and 2 CD-ROM releases. However, they didn't go to the trouble of adding voiceover, understandably enough, so I will be taking over that role. The little shop, huh? Hopefully not one of horrors. Well, no sooner are we into the little shop than the door closes behind us and we are taunted by that Jack-in-the-Box over yonder. I mentioned in the intro that the sort of villain of this little game would be a toy version of Jack, One-Eyed Jack, the antagonist of Alone in the Dark 2. So we get a little sneak preview of our coming villain. We cannot leave directly through the door. I guess Jack over there has locked it on us. So that's going to be our immediate objective, is to find a way out of the store. Controls work more or less identically to Alone in the Dark. Tank controls, as you'd expect from a survival horror, or in this case, cute game of this vintage. We have a broom, which we can carry around, but it will do absolutely nothing. And we have a search command which works a little differently from Alone in the Dark's. Instead of selecting the command and then using the spacebar to activate it, it just activates as soon as we select it in the menu. But no, there's nothing interesting in front of Grace right now. Let me approach the camera a little bit so you can see Grace's slightly horrifying low-poly expression. And those eyes. That little girl has seen shit. Anywho, our first objective will be to search this chest using our shiny new search command. We have 20 HP, as you can see in the lower left there. I think that's just a function of the engine. There's nothing that I recall in this game that can actually hurt us, although some things will discombobulate Grace a bit. Ah, we found a drum. We can walk around playing that, but there's no reason to do so right now. Something that's kind of easy to miss over here is the dime sitting behind the stove, or beside the stove, I should say. But we will be needing that, so we will claim it. And now if we take a look behind the counter, we can also acquire a lovely oil lamp. If we take a look at that, we'll see the option to empty it, so there is oil inside. Unfortunately, no genie. Now, if we look at the shelf behind Jack there, it appears there might be a few books sitting among the other items. So let's go ahead and see if we can find any good reading material. How about that, a book? This is a pretty substantial book and will actually likely take up a good chunk of our runtime today, especially with me reading it. So let's get right down to business. The Toy Book, a collection of short stories by Alfred Kruger, 1924, a Carpenter publication. With one exception, all of the characters in this game, other than Grace of course, will be toys, and this book provides a little introduction to the toy cast of Jack in the Dark. Beppo the Clown. According to legend, this puppet, which can march in time to a drum, was the only toy that belonged to the infamous Jack the Ripper. Another Jack, huh? Kinda strange that that's here in this ordinary toy shop rather than a museum, but perhaps this isn't such an ordinary toy shop after all. The Cavalry Rider. This patriotic toy was made according to instructions given by the painter Garrico, I don't know, after his famous painting, Cavalry Officer of the Imperial Guard. Rusty. Always fond of lipsticks or blusher, Rusty was put onto the market under the nickname the Guardian Angel. Unfortunately, due to her tendency of preferring leisure to duty, she has been renamed. Zack the Crack. We owe this paradoxical but disciplined puppet to the talents of the famous sculptor Geppetto. Legend has it that later... Oh, a sibling of Pinocchio, huh? St. Louis's Choo-Choo. This mechanical train, a marvel of precision, has been given to Herbert Remington, president of the Pacific Coast Railway, for the occasion of the Promontory Points Junction. This one and some of the other toys don't really feature into the gameplay or story in any meaningful way, they're just for flavor. Hop-O My Thumb. His 7-mile boots make him march in time. Alas, this toy has sold so badly that there are only a few specimens left. Indeed, criminality doesn't pay. That is a horrible pun, but yes, Hop on My Thumb, I believe, is a French fairy tale. The Spirit of San Jose. This little plane, constructed by Schuster Incorporated, is a miniature copy of the first monoplane that flew from New York to Los Angeles in 1919. Blondie. Always vain, this doll from Nuremberg was a joy for thousands of children. Due to her real hair, it's a piece that any collector would be happy to own. Most of this seems more like a toy catalog than a collection of short stories. Indrani from Bali. This dancing princess of the Temple of Shiva enjoyed an enormous success in India last century. Brought to the West by Kipling, whose fame spread as fast as an oil slick. That is a very strange metaphor, or simile, or whatever is appropriate there, but it's actually a game hint. Jack in the Dark. The Irish craftsman who designed this toy drew his inspiration from the infamous pirate, One-Eyed Jack. It seems that only candy can calm his anger. There's a more obvious gameplay hint. Also, a bit of trivia about the upcoming game here, that is that, almost all of the rogues gallery in Alone in the Dark 2 are Irishmen. Tales for Halloween, a Rudolph Publishing. One-Eyed Jack. Oh, finally we're getting into the short story part. Once upon a time, there was a Jack in the Box whose name was One-Eyed Jack. He was so ugly and mean that after terrorizing the toys that march in time to a drum, he took the nicest man in the world prisoner, Father Christmas. Yes, in addition to getting out of the toy shop, that's going to be our other objective in Jack in the Dark, is to rescue Santa Claus. Only a witch, even if it's not a professional one, will be able to release him. However, scaring the greedy One-Eyed Jack in the Box could be easy, if you've only got what it takes to reflect. Another rather obvious gameplay hint there. And that's all for that book. Oh, we don't get a title for it. Oh well, we saw what it was. Alright, what's next? Ah, yes. It is Halloween, it's only appropriate that we get our hands on some sweets, and there you can see a candy machine on the counter. We do have a run command, but due to there being a lot of active objects on the screen, the game engine is chuggy a little bit, and it's kind of hard to actually activate Grace's run. Now then, this is a pay candy machine. Not appropriate for Halloween entirely, but fortunately we do have a dime. And we get some lovely sweets. But I don't think Jack quite appreciated that. With a nasty laugh, he activates a toy, who will come over and start making zapping noises at us, causing Grace to cry unpleasantly. So we'll want to do something about that ASAP. Oh, it appears we can take damage. Okay, hang on. I want to save my game and see what happens if I run out of HP. The answer apparently is absolutely nothing. Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll want to put an end to this anyway. We were told in the book that the fame of Indrani from Bali, who this is, was spreading fast as an oil slick. And that is our important hint here. We're going to want to empty the oil lamp on the ground. Which will cause the marionette to slip and disappear. However, this will now activate some other toys that will be coming after us shortly, I believe. Yeah, I can't get the run working at all. Oh, this is interesting. Normally we have some toys activated here. Can we get into the back room? Oh, okay. So now we're locked up with Santa Claus. Apparently the game checks at that point whether your HP are all used up. Okay. Well, I am enlightened. And we see a few preview screens from Alone in the Dark 2 as our ending. Our bad end, in this case. And you can already see one of the big problems of Alone in the Dark 2, which is that the enemy count is a bit high and there's an awful lot of gunplay, neither of which works very well in the engine. But that's not the ending we want in any case. Yes, we know how this all works. Let's load our save. And get rid of Indrani a little quicker this time. Oh, not now? Okay, how about now? Oh, we need to be a little closer, okay. That's more like it. So the way the game handles the game over seems to be a little clumsy. Now we can run a little better. Ah, okay. Now the other toys are on the move. The one up front I'm fairly sure is Hop on My Thumb. The others I'm not so sure about. The important thing is, if they approach Grace, she will once again cry and I believe lose some health, so we'll want to take care of that as quickly as possible. Now, there was something in the book about Jack controlling the toys that move to the beat of a drum, and that's our big hint about what to do here. Using the drum, we can cause the toys to follow us around. Well, they'll follow us around anyway, but with the beat of the drum, we can get them to follow us into the toy box, which is what we ultimately want to do here. I wonder if the one with the big creepy grin is Beppo the Clown, the toy of Jack the Ripper. Getting them to march into the toy box can be a little tricky. You have to do it with the proper timing. And the proper pathing, of course. Oh, I think they're doing it. Or perhaps not. Hop on my thumb, what the hell are you doing? Okay, it looks like they're still following me. What happened to the clown or whatever the hell it is? Okay, they are still following me. To the toy box. Toy box, please. Camera, you're not helping. And normally this is a little easier. There he goes. And now the little German worm, or whatever it is, will finally do his big crawl into the toy box. Do excuse me, folks, usually that goes a little more smoothly. And Grace will just continue marching and drumming until we put away the drum. I believe if we search, that should... No. If we put the broom back in our hands, that should take care of it. Okay. Now then. With those toys out of the way, we should be able to move into the back room. So let's see what there is to find back there. That's the spirit of San Jose or whatever it was above us, and the patriotic toy over there on the left on the shelves. Pardon me, I can't seem to remember their names off the top of my head. Now, there is a toy soldier there with a cannon who will keep it aimed at us. But as long as we don't cause any trouble, he won't actually shoot us. Back here we can find a vanity case. And a mirror. Now if we go a little deeper into the back room, we can see the cage where Santa Claus is imprisoned and where we were imprisoned in Bad End. And guarding the prison there, we have Rusty and Blondie, two of the dolls from the book. Now, they were supposedly a little on the vain side, Blondie having real hair that she was distinguished by, and Rusty being a little more fond of leisure than duty. So perhaps they'd be interested in this vanity case. Not enough space? Okay, maybe if we back up a bit more. There, they seem to like that. And something appears to have been dropped a little off to the left. While they're busy, perhaps we can investigate. Ah, a candy stick. Now, there was something about only candy being able to calm Jack's wrath. The teddy bear here, I don't think actually does anything, but we can take it if we like. There's the run. Things are also running a little more smoothly now that some of those toys are off the screen. Now, Jack seems to be going a little berserk. I don't think he's at all happy about what we've been doing in his shop, or what he perceives as his shop in any case. Now, taking care of Jack, if we would only reflect, is something else that the book told us about. So what if we show him the mirror? No, he's just too pissed off. He's not going to look right now. So perhaps if we calm him down a little bit, then we'd be able to show him his reflection. So let's try offering him the candy stick. Ah, he seems to be enjoying that. Perhaps now. Oh, quite the look of horror on Jack's low-poly face there. And Grace seems quite pleased with herself, which well she might be. I have now lost control, by the way. The game is proceeding automatically. Oh, a present for us? Why, what a lovely costume. Grace did make an excellent wish, but maybe this makes her a little happier. Most importantly, the door is now open. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, a few months early. Once again, we get the preview shots for Alone in the Dark 2, some of which are rather bloody in a sharp change of mood from what we just played. These are all scenes that we will be seeing when I LP the game. And that is really all there is to Jack in the Dark. A cute little game, clearly a little janky, as was witnessed by my strange activation of the bad end and my little bit of trouble getting the toys to path into the toy box. But it's cute, it's kind of enjoyable. And I do like the book. For our next episode, I'll either be doing something else short, much like Castle of Illusion, or we'll get right on into Alone in the Dark 2. More likely the latter, but we'll see. In any case, I hope you can excuse me for the slightly late and rather short video this week. Again, a very crazy week it was. But I hope you enjoyed regardless. Take care, everyone, and until next time, that's a very short game, Hendrix. Today's Tricky Treat has been brought to you by Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo De Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Mechasaurus, DG Jono, Doug Russell, Dodecalope, Jirogue, Martin Schowenmakers, Mayo the Hedgefox, Hildegard Argelmach, IGV, Jazel, Joseph Hall, Dan Larson, K. Ivan Rupert, Tiny Shopkeeper, Charlie Dunst, Kikoskia, Kobo4231, Yuka Takeuchi Fan, Chaotic Narrative, Mystery Accent, Lakota, Mei Yanling, Renaman, Fate Everywhere, TJA, Sparkazile Lefzer, Super Pervert 69, Zero, Bueller 13, Pixel Goat, and other holly jolly patrons. Thank you so much for your kind and faithful support, and of course copious thank yous to all subscribers, commenters, and everyone watching. I hope the rest of this weekend and the week ahead are good to you and yours, and that I'll be seeing you soon for more I Played a Thing. Till then. Hello out there, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've had a good time, and I've been glad to have you. If you enjoyed this video, new subscribers always brighten my day, and if you really dig my stuff and would like to support me on Patreon, I shall be very grateful indeed. You're also invited to go with the stream every Friday at twitch.tv/unplayedathing. Thank you again, and have a good one.